Rightio, so we've got our fog, we've got our effects, we've got the old zombie wobbling away in the corner. So, kind of what's next? Well, I would suggest, because I'm thinking about my dinner, that we would want to give some sort of foreshadowing for this character so that you're not just pottering along and suddenly you bang into him. And the best way of doing that, obviously, is audio. So, I suggest we put a radio static on him. So, it's kind of the inverse of Silent Hill. In Shadow Hill, Silent Hill kind of foreshadows the enemies with the crackling of the static on the character, whereas in this case I'm just going to stick a static noise onto this character. So let's go and add a audio source onto the character. Okay, just move up a bit. Oops, Daisy, let's not do that. Sort out put the feet. There's probably some reason for that. So again, we've got some more resources here. Let's go over to so this is called Freesound. So you need to log in. It's a great source of sounds. So if you look at over here, you can select specifically Creative Commons 0 if you want to make commercial projects, which is fantastic. So for instance, this one says this sound is not in the public domain, so it's probably why nobody's going to use it. So I've already got one. I just downloaded it here, and so I've just downloaded it, show it in the folder, and then what I'll do is I will go to my assets and I'll make a folder called audio, and then what I'll do is I will just drag this hard static loop in. So if we just, these are the import settings, which we should be fairly comfortable with by now. So loading background. Okay, so I assume this might have a loop on this, but it must be on the so loop is on the audio source. So we've put an audio source onto this character, so I'll just drag this in. You've got to be a bit careful with the volume. Well, let's actually just see. Okay, so I've just put the audio source on. It's on Turn Awake and it's on loop. So let's have a listen. Yes, so I can understand his feelings there because it's enormously loud. It's got a very small output area though, so what I want to do is get that volume right down, and I want to try to spread. Let's have a go at that. So we're not actually getting any sound as we approach him. Okay, so I'm just grabbing hold of the, with the character selected, I'm just grabbing hold of, this is, I presume, the fall off. So we want the fall off, oh god. So we want the fall off to be pretty massive and the core sound to just kind of be in, directly around the, so this is adjusted the distances automatically for me. Let's just listen and see what we get. So it's still super high, so priority volume, let's take it right down. Let's try that. So it's not getting any louder as I get closer. So a few little corrections down here. So if we go back to this character here, so what you need to do is you need to turn your spatial blend up to 3D, otherwise you won't get anything. You need to put your volume roll off at linear roll off so that it will fall away in a linear fashion. And what I also realised while I was testing is that I was walking the wrong way because I got lost in the fog. So what I'm going to do is just play this and I'll turn around and walk back towards the zombie, so we don't want it to be that loud when we get that close. So let's just test how this works. So I'm just outside this roll off here. So I'm walking away from it now, which before I thought I was walking towards it. So it's not really the correct sound effect for what I'm trying to achieve. It's too loud and it doesn't sound like a radio crackling, but it is foreshadowing. So and again, I probably need to adjust the ranges. It's been a bit weird. I would have expected to have started hitting it a bit more than that. So I'll fiddle with the ranges, but there you go. So that's the sound ranges. Okay, so I was looking for some type of wind effect on Freesound, so I found this. It's Spooky Wind Ambience, thanks to Ian Starr Gem. So it's Creative Commons Zero Creative. So back into, I've taken it into Unity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a audio source onto the character. I'm not sure this has to be 3D actually, because it's not set in 3D space, it's just attached to the character, so we don't want it to loop. What I will do is I will add this. So this is actually a wind effect, but quite honestly it works better as music, and it probably just wants to be a one shot, so I'll just let it play once instead of looping. So it's kind of a creepy type of music. It's probably going to be deafeningly loud because it's attached to the character. Let's have a look. Yeah, it starts working well. So we probably no, I've turned the fog off in the scene window. I was going to say we probably want to give the zombie some sort of noise when it's in pain, because it doesn't quite work as yet. So fog wise, it's one of these. Here we are. So it's just your scene window display settings. So obviously you can't see what you're doing unless you turn the fog off. So, okay, so that should do sound and music wise.